Once upon a time in Switzerland, there was a little girl named Heidi. She was only 5 years old and had lost her parents when she was just 3. After that, she lived with her Aunt Deet, who cared for her for some time. One day, Aunt Deet got a new job in the big city of Frankfurt. She could not take Heidi with her, so she decided to bring the little girl to her grandfather. He lived high up on the mountain slopes, far from the village. When they arrived, Heidi saw a small wooden house and an old man with a long beard. "Aunt Deet, please don't leave me," cried Heidi with tears in her eyes. "It's for your good, my child," said Aunt Deet and left the mountain. At first, Heidi was shy and a little afraid of her grumpy grandfather. But soon she saw that her new home was full of beauty green hills and white snow. She loved the sunshine, the flowers, and the goats that played near her house. Every night, she slept on soft hay and looked at the twinkling stars. Heidi felt free and happy in the fresh air of the mountains. One day, Heidi met a boy named Peter, a 7-year-old goatherd. He lived with his mother and blind grandmother in a nearby cottage. "Come on, Heidi, let's go to the pasture," said Peter with a smile. "Wait a minute," laughed Heidi as she ran after him. They watched the goats eat grass and played all day under the warm sun. Heidi often visited Peter's grandmother and helped her with small things at home. Her grandfather started to love Heidi more each day and became very kind. "Heidi, I will never let you go away from me," said Grandpa. "I love you, Grandpa," said Heidi with a big smile. Life was simple and beautiful for Heidi in the mountains. But one day, Aunt Deet returned to take Heidi to Frankfurt. "She will be a friend to a little girl named Clara," said Aunt Deet. Heidi didn't want to go. She wanted to stay with Grandpa and Peter. Still, Aunt Deet took her away to the big city. In Clara's home, everything was new and strange for Heidi. She had to follow many rules and listen to the strict housekeeper, Mrs. Rottenmeier. Clara was kind and gentle. She could not walk and sat in a wheelchair. Heidi and Clara soon became good friends and played together every day. Clara's family loved Heidi, but the housekeeper did not like her. She said Heidi was not polite and had poor clothes. As time went by, Heidi missed her home in the mountains very much. She became sad and started to feel lonely and tired. At night, she dreamed of her grandfather and Peter and the goats on the hill. Sometimes she even walked in her sleep because she missed them so much. Clara's grandmama saw that Heidi was unhappy and wanted to help. She spoke to Aunt Deet, but Aunt Deet did not care. Finally, the doctor said Heidi should go back to her mountain home. When Heidi heard the news, she jumped with joy. "Oh, thank you, Grandmama. I can go home again," she cried. She said goodbye to Clara and promised, "Please come to the mountains one day." When Heidi returned home, she ran to her grandfather and hugged him tight. "Grandpa, I missed you so much," she said happily. "I missed you too, my dear child," said Grandpa, smiling with tears in his eyes. Heidi told Peter and his grandmother about her time in the big city. A few months later, Clara came to visit Heidi in the mountains. Clara was very happy. She loved the flowers, the goats, and the cool wind. But Peter became jealous. He thought Clara was taking Heidi away from him. In anger, Peter pushed Clara's wheelchair down the hill and it broke. When Heidi saw it, she was shocked. "Clara, don't worry, I'll help you." Heidi and Peter helped Clara to stand up and walk slowly on her own. It was a miracle. Clara could walk again. When Clara returned home, her family was filled with joy. "Mom, Dad, I can walk on my feet again," said Clara with happy tears. Peter felt sorry for what he did and cried. "I broke the wheelchair," he said. But Clara's family forgave him and even gave him gifts for being honest. They also sent gifts to Heidi and Peter's grandmother to make their life easier. Heidi, Grandpa, and the grandmother thanked God for all the good things in their lives. And so, Heidi lived happily ever after in her beloved mountains. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by green hills, lived two close friends named Ron and John who were always dreaming of adventures far beyond their home. They shared everything: food, laughter, and even their secrets, and people in the village often said that nothing could ever break their bond. One sunny morning, Ron's eyes sparkled with excitement as he said, "John, why don't we explore the world? Let's start with that mysterious forest we see every day." John hesitated for a moment, staring at the dark woods in the distance, but his love for adventure was stronger than his fear, so he nodded and agreed. They packed some bread, fruit, and water, and promised each other that no matter what happened inside that forest, they would face everything together. As they entered the forest, sunlight slowly disappeared behind thick branches, and the air became cool and filled with the smell of moss and wildflowers. Birds sang softly in the distance, and every sound echoed strangely, making both of them realize that the forest was much larger and darker than they thought. Ron tried to sound brave, saying, "Don't worry, John, we'll be fine," but deep down, his heart was already beating faster with every step. Suddenly, a deep, terrifying growl filled the air so loud and close that they stopped breathing for a second and looked around in panic. From behind the bushes, a huge brown bear appeared, its fur shining under the sunlight that barely reached through the trees, and its eyes glowing fiercely. The bear growled again and started walking toward them, slow but powerful, shaking the ground with each heavy step. Ron screamed, "Run!" and without thinking twice, he sprinted toward a nearby tree and began climbing as fast as his legs could carry him. John followed him but was slower. He had never climbed a tree before and didn't even know where to put his hands or feet. "Ron, please, help me climb. The bear is coming," John shouted desperately, looking up at his friend with fear in his eyes. But Ron, already sitting on a thick branch, looked down nervously and said, "I can't come down now. The bear will catch us both. Find a place to hide," he yelled again, pretending not to hear the pain in John's voice, while the growl grew louder and closer. John looked around quickly, realizing there was no cave, no hole, nowhere to run, only open ground and the bear just a few steps away. Then he suddenly remembered something his old teacher once said in school: "A bear never attacks a dead body. It only eats living prey." That memory gave him an idea, his only chance to survive, and he immediately lay flat on the ground, closing his eyes and holding his breath. The bear came closer and closer until John could hear its breathing and feel its warm air brushing against his ear. The massive animal sniffed his hair, his face, his arms, and even pushed him slightly with its nose to check if he was truly dead. John stayed perfectly still, his heart pounding like a drum, praying silently that his plan would work and that the bear would go away soon. After a few tense seconds that felt like forever, the bear turned around slowly and walked away into the shadows of the forest. Only when the sound of its footsteps disappeared completely did John dare to open his eyes and take a deep breath of relief. Up in the tree, Ron was still shaking, but once he realized the danger had passed, he climbed down carefully, pretending to be calm. He smiled nervously and said, "That was close. You're lucky the bear didn't eat you. What did it whisper in your ear, by the way?" John stood up slowly, brushed the dust off his clothes, and looked at Ron with calm but disappointed eyes. "The bear told me," he said softly, "never to trust a friend who leaves you when you need him the most." Ron's smile disappeared instantly, and shame filled his heart as he realized how selfish he had been in that terrifying moment. John turned around and started walking out of the forest without saying another word, leaving Ron standing alone under the tall trees. The journey that began with laughter and excitement ended in silence and regret, teaching a lesson that Ron would never forget. True friendship, John thought, is not proven in happy times, it is tested when fear and danger knock at your door. And from that day on, he promised himself to trust actions, not words, when it came to friendship and loyalty. Meanwhile, Ron watched his best friend disappear between the trees, knowing that something precious had been lost forever. The forest returned to its quiet whispers, as if keeping the secret of what had happened between the two boys that day. And if you ever walk through that same forest, you might still hear the wind softly saying, "A true friend never runs away." The end. Once upon a time, on a sunny little farm by the countryside, there lived a clever and cheerful hen called the Little Red Hen. She was bright red, full of energy, and always busy doing something. But all the other animals on the farm were lazy. The cow loved to rest in the shade all day. The pig rolled in the mud and dreamed of food. The dog slept by the barn door, snoring loudly. One morning, the Little Red Hen was walking near the old fence when something shiny caught her eye. It was a tiny golden wheat seed. She picked it up with her beak and thought, if I plant this seed, one day it will grow into wheat." Her eyes sparkled. "And from the wheat, I can make flour. And from flour, I can bake delicious bread." Excited, she rushed across the farmyard to tell her friends. Maybe they would help her make her dream come true. "Who will help me plant this wheat seed?" she asked happily. The cow looked up slowly from her nap. "Not I," said the cow lazily. "It's too sunny to do any work today." The Little Red Hen turned to the pig. "Will you help me, pig?" "Not I," said the pig, rolling over. "I'm too comfortable in this mud to move." She turned to the dog, wagging his tail half asleep. "Dog, will you help me plant this seed?" "Not I," said the dog with a yawn. "It's too hot to do anything right now." The Little Red Hen sighed, but she smiled bravely. "Then I shall do it myself," she said, and off she went. She dug a small hole in the soft soil, placed the seed carefully, and covered it gently with dirt. Days passed. The sun shone brightly, the rain fell softly, and the little seed began to sprout. Tiny green leaves pushed up from the ground, dancing in the wind. The Little Red Hen smiled proudly. "It's growing." But soon, weeds began to grow around the wheat. "Oh dear," said the Little Red Hen. "It's time to weed the garden." She looked around and called out, "Who will help me weed the garden?" The cow lifted her head. "Not I," she said. "The weather is too pleasant to work." The pig snorted. "Not I. I'm busy enjoying my nap." The dog wagged his tail lazily. "Not I. I'm guarding the barn." "Then I shall do it myself," said the Little Red Hen, and she started pulling weeds, one by one. Under the warm sun, she worked hard, humming to herself. "Weed, weed, weed. Hard work makes good bread." Weeks passed, and the wheat grew tall, golden, and ready to harvest. It swayed like waves in the wind. The Little Red Hen clapped her wings. "It's time to cut and thresh the wheat," she said. She ran to her friends again. "Who will help me harvest the wheat?" "Not I," said the cow. "I want to rest in my barn." "Not I," said the pig. "I want to play in the mud." "Not I," said the dog. I'm looking for my bone today." "Then I shall do it myself," said the little red hen, and she began cutting the wheat under the bright sky. Her feathers turned dusty and her wings ached, but she didn't stop until every stalk was done. Now she had bags of wheat, ready to grind into flour. "Who will help me grind this wheat into flour?" she called. "Not I," said the cow. "It's almost milking time." "Not I," said the pig. "It's too close to supper time." "Not I," said the dog. "I'm tired from guarding the barn." The little red hen sighed but smiled. "Then I shall do it myself." She ground the wheat into fine, soft flour. White powder flew around her beak, and she sneezed. Achoo! Finally, she had a big bowl of flour. "Now, I'll bake some bread," she said happily. Before she started, she gave her friends one more chance. "Who will help me bake the bread?" "Not I," said the cow. "I don't know how to bake." "Not I," said the pig. "I might burn it." "Not I," said the dog. "Baking is boring." "Then I shall do it myself," said the little red hen, smiling softly. She mixed the flour, water, and yeast, kneaded the dough, and placed it in the oven. The smell of warm bread filled the air. Even the lazy animals lifted their noses. What's that smell?" The bread baked golden and crisp. When it was ready, she took it out and let it cool on the windowsill. The cow, pig, and dog came running. "Who will help me eat this bread?" asked the little red hen playfully. I will, they all shouted together. The little red hen shook her head gently. "No, you won't," she said. "I did all the work, so I will eat the bread." She cut the bread, steam rising from the soft middle, and took a bite. Delicious! The animals watched, feeling sad and guilty. The cow lowered her head. The pig kicked the dirt. The dog looked away. The little red hen looked at them kindly and said, "Next time, if you help, we can all share." From that day on, whenever there was work to do, the animals always offered to help. They learned that teamwork makes everything easier and much more fun. And the little red hen? She smiled every morning, proud of her golden bread and her hardworking friends. Because on that small sunny farm, everyone finally understood the magic of hard work. The end. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there stood a small wooden house surrounded by green fields and wildflowers. Inside that house lived an old woman and her husband. They were kind and gentle, but very lonely. Every evening, they sat together by the fire, wishing they had a child to bring laughter into their home. One bright morning, the old woman smiled and said, "Dear husband, I shall bake a gingerbread man today." Her husband chuckled. "A gingerbread man? What a lovely idea. Maybe he will make us smile like a real child." The old woman gathered flour, sugar, butter, and sweet spices. The kitchen filled with a warm, delicious smell. She mixed everything carefully, humming a happy little tune as she worked. Then she rolled out the dough and shaped it into a little man with round arms, short legs, and a happy smile. She added candies for eyes, cherries for buttons, and white icing for his hair and mouth. "Oh my! What a fine-looking gingerbread man," she said proudly. "Let's bake him now." She placed him into the warm oven and waited patiently, smelling the sweet aroma of ginger and sugar. When she opened the oven door suddenly, the gingerbread man jumped right out. The old woman gasped, "Oh dear, you're alive." But the gingerbread man laughed and ran to the window. Run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man," he shouted joyfully. The old woman ran after him, calling, Stop, I made you. Don't go away." But he was too fast. Her husband joined the chase, waving his hat, but the gingerbread man was already far down the road. He ran through the meadow, the sun shining above him, his candy eyes sparkling with pride. Soon, he met a big brown cow munching on the grass. "Moo! You smell sweet and fresh. I want to eat you." The gingerbread man laughed. "I ran away from an old woman and an old man. I can run away from you too." Then he sang again, "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." The cow started chasing him, her hooves pounding on the ground, but the gingerbread man ran even faster. He giggled, looking back. "Too slow, Miss Cow. Try harder next time." Down the road, he met a pink pig rolling in the mud. "Oink! You look tasty. I'll eat you right now." The gingerbread man laughed. "I ran away from an old woman, an old man, and a cow. I can run away from you too." And he sang again, louder than before, "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." The pig squealed and chased him, but the gingerbread man dashed through the field with lightning speed. He was so proud of himself. "Ha! No one in this world can catch me." As he ran further, a hen saw him from her yard. "Cluck! What a delicious meal for my chicks." The hen spread her wings and ran after him, but the gingerbread man darted past her, laughing loudly. He shouted once more, "I ran away from a woman, a man, a cow, and a pig. I can run away from you too." The hen joined the chase, and now a whole parade of animals ran behind the gingerbread man. The old woman, the old man, the cow, the pig, and the hen all shouting, "Stop, stop." But the gingerbread man just laughed. "You'll never catch me. I'm too clever and too fast." He ran past the meadow, through the tall grass, and came to a wide sparkling river. He stopped suddenly. "Oh no! If I go into the water, I'll get soggy and fall apart." Just then, a sly-looking fox appeared near the riverbank, drinking water. "Well, well," said the fox, smiling. "Why are you standing here all alone, little man?" The gingerbread man sighed. "I've run from everyone, but now I can't cross this river." The fox grinned. "Oh, that's easy. I can help you cross. Just hop onto my back." The gingerbread man hesitated for a moment, then said, You seem kind. All right." He jumped onto the fox's back, and the fox began swimming smoothly across the river. After a while, the fox said, "The water is getting deeper. Climb onto my head, little man." The gingerbread man moved carefully onto the fox's head, still singing softly, "Run, run, as fast as you can." Soon, the fox said again, "The water is even deeper. Climb onto my nose." The gingerbread man crawled onto the fox's nose, happy that he would finally reach the other side. But as they reached the bank, the fox suddenly tossed him high into the air. Snap! The fox opened his mouth wide and gobbled up the gingerbread man in one quick bite. And that was the end of the gingerbread man, who thought no one could ever catch him. The old woman reached the riverbank just in time to see the fox licking his lips. She sighed sadly, "Oh, my poor little gingerbread man, if only you had listened." And from that day on, she baked cookies instead, ones that stayed quietly on the plate. The story spread through the village, reminding everyone that pride always comes before a fall. So children, remember, it's good to be clever and fast, but never too proud to listen. Because in the end, even the fastest runner can't escape his own mistakes. And that is the sweet and funny story of the gingerbread man. Run, run, as fast as you can, but always think before you run. Once upon a time, in a busy town full of noise and lights, there lived a little mouse named Timmy. Timmy was clever, neat, and always wore a tiny blue hat. He loved the city life fast, bright, and full of delicious smells. One morning, while cleaning his tiny apartment, he found an old photo. It was his cousin Toby, the country mouse. Timmy smiled. "It's been so long since I saw him," he thought. "Maybe it's time to visit the countryside again." He packed his small bag with cheese, a map, and his favorite scarf. "I'll surprise Toby. He'll be so happy to see me." After a long ride on a dusty train, Timmy stepped out. The air was thick with the smell of grass and earth. He wrinkled his nose. "Ugh, it smells like dirt and cows. How do mice live in such a place?" Still, he followed the winding path through the fields until he reached a tiny wooden house under an apple tree. "Toby, it's me, Timmy," he called out. Out came a cheerful mouse with a straw hat and muddy paws. "Timmy, what a surprise," Toby said, jumping with joy. Come in, come in. What brings you all the way from the city?" "I just missed you," said Timmy, "and I wanted to see how you live out here in the wild." "You must be tired," said Toby kindly. "Go freshen up. I'll prepare something special for you." Timmy washed his face with the cool well water but grumbled. "This water is so little. In my city, water flows from the tap all day." When he came out, Toby had laid out food: sweet potatoes, beetroots, turnips, and a cup of fresh milk. "Come sit, cousin," said Toby proudly. "It's all fresh from the garden." Timmy looked at the food and frowned. "That's what you eat here? No cheese, no bread, no butter? How boring." Toby looked a little hurt, but smiled politely. "It may be simple, but it's healthy and fresh." After dinner, Toby said, "Come, let me show you my farm. You'll love it." They walked through fields of peas, carrots, and flowers. The air smelled clean and sweet. Timmy sniffed. "Ugh, that compost pile stinks. My city never smells like this." Toby chuckled. "That smell is life, cousin. It's the scent of nature and hard work." Timmy shook his head. "Honestly, Toby, I don't know how you live like this eating roots, surrounded by bugs." He leaned closer and whispered, "Come to the city with me. I'll show you real-life cheese, cakes, and luxury." Toby hesitated, then smiled shyly. "Maybe I should. I've never seen the city before." "Perfect," said Timmy. "You'll love it. You'll forget all about this dirty old farm." The next morning, they hugged goodbye. "Thank you for everything, Toby. See you in the city." A few days later, Toby packed his tiny bag with nuts and cheese and began his journey to town. As he entered the city, his eyes widened. Wow! So many tall buildings, so many lights. But then honk, honk, cars rushed by. Toby's heart raced. So noisy, so scary. Finally, he found Timmy's home, a tiny hole inside a fancy restaurant wall. "Welcome, cousin," Timmy shouted. "You made it. Come inside, you must see my house." Inside were soft beds made of napkins, shiny silver spoons, and crumbs of cheese everywhere. Soon, servants set a grand table. Timmy's eyes sparkled. "Tonight, you'll eat like a king." The food smelled heavenly: pasta, toast, butter, cheese, milk, peanut butter, and cake. Toby took a tiny bite of cheese. Delicious. "You're right, cousin, city life is amazing." But suddenly, footsteps, heavy footsteps. A servant entered the room with a broom. "You filthy little creatures, out of here." The mice panicked and ran. "Quick, hide," shouted Timmy. They dove under the table. Toby's heart pounded fast. "Is this how you live, cousin? Running for your life every meal?" Timmy laughed nervously. "Don't worry, He'll leave soon, then we'll feast again. After the man left, Timmy said, "Come on, let's go out. I'll show you something better." They sneaked into the night and reached a big department store. This place has every food you can imagine. But before Toby could answer meow, a huge cat appeared, eyes glowing in the dark. "Run!" yelled Timmy. They dashed behind shelves as the cat's paws slammed down beside them. Toby's tiny heart thumped like a drum. "I can't do this. I'm not made for this life." When the cat finally left, Toby saw a strange metal thing with cheese inside. "What's that?" he asked. "That, my friend," said Timmy, "is a mousetrap. If you touch the cheese, it kills you." Toby trembled. "Oh no, every bite here could be my last." He looked around at the shining lights and dark corners. "Cousin, I've had enough. I miss my garden, my peace, my fresh air. I'd rather eat simple food than live in fear." Timmy's face softened. "I understand, Toby. Maybe I forgot what real happiness feels like." The next morning, Toby packed his bag again. "Goodbye, cousin. Thank you for showing me your world." Timmy hugged him tightly. "And thank you for reminding me of what really matters." As Toby walked back home, the air grew quiet, the stars twinkled, and his heart felt light. He reached his little house under the apple tree and smiled. Home sweet home. He took a bite of a fresh carrot, watching fireflies dance in the dark. Peace tastes better than cheese. From that day on, Toby lived happily. No fancy meals, no noise, no fear, just joy and calm. And Timmy? Sometimes he would visit the countryside again to enjoy a quiet nap under the apple tree. Both cousins had learned something priceless. Peace is worth more than gold. And that's why even the smallest home, filled with love and safety, can feel like the grandest palace in the world. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a rich merchant and his 3 daughters. The youngest was called Beauty because she was kind, gentle, and wiser than her sisters. Her sisters were jealous and always complained, caring only about clothes and money. Beauty loved her father dearly and dreamed of meeting a kind prince one day. One night, a terrible storm came, and the merchant lost all his ships and gold. They became poor, and all the servants left. Beauty worked hard, while her sisters only complained. One day, the merchant heard that one of his ships had returned. He felt hope again. He asked his daughters, "What should I bring you?" The sisters asked for dresses and jewels. Beauty smiled and said, "Just bring me a single red rose, father." When he reached the harbor, he found the ship empty and all the crew gone. Sad and tired, the merchant lost his way in the snow and found a shining palace in the woods. He entered and found food and a warm fire but saw no one inside. After eating and resting, he saw a garden full of roses and picked one for Beauty. Suddenly, a terrible beast appeared with glowing red eyes and sharp claws. "Who dares to touch my roses?" the beast roared. The merchant begged for mercy. The beast said, "Bring me one of your daughters to stay here, and I will let you go." The merchant agreed, thinking no daughter would come. He returned home sadly. When Beauty heard his story, she said, "Father, I will go. It is my fault." They traveled to the beast's castle, which was full of lights and gold. The beast welcomed Beauty kindly and told her she could live freely. Every night, the beast asked, "Beauty, will you marry me?" And she gently said, "No." But the beast never got angry. He was gentle and always kind. Soon Beauty was no longer afraid. She enjoyed the gardens, music, and books. One day, Beauty missed her father. The beast gave her a magic ring. "Sleep wearing this ring," he said, "and you will see your father again." Beauty woke up in her old house. Her family hugged her in joy. But one night, she dreamed the beast was dying. She cried and rushed back. She found him lying weak and pale. "Please don't die, my dear beast." Her tears fell on him, and suddenly he turned into a handsome prince. "Beauty, your love broke the curse," said the prince. "Will you marry me now?" "Yes," said Beauty. "You are my true love." They returned home together. Their wedding was full of light, laughter, and love. Everyone was happy. The prince and Beauty ruled the kingdom with kindness and peace. And they lived happily ever after, showing that true beauty is in the heart. Once upon a time, in a big green forest, there lived a strong and brave lion. He was the king of the forest, and all the animals respected him. The lion had a golden mane that shone in the sunlight. His roar was so loud that even the trees seemed to shake when they heard it. One sunny afternoon, after eating a big meal, the lion felt sleepy. He walked to a large tree, lay down under its shade, and closed his eyes. Not far away, a little brown mouse was playing in the grass. The mouse was tiny but full of energy. He loved to explore and run around. When the mouse saw the sleeping lion, he stopped and whispered to himself, "Wow, what a big animal. Maybe I can play on him for a little while." The mouse climbed carefully onto the lion's tail. Then he ran up the lion's back and slid down again. "Wee, this is fun," the mouse laughed. But suddenly, the lion woke up. His eyes opened wide, and he gave a loud roar. Roar. The sound made the little mouse freeze in fear. Before the mouse could escape, the lion caught him with his big paw. "How dare you wake me up?" the lion growled angrily. The tiny mouse shook with fear. "Oh, great king, please forgive me. I didn't mean to disturb you. I was only playing. Please don't eat me." The lion looked down at the little creature and laughed. "You are so small. Why should I let you go? What can you do for me?" The mouse said quickly, "If you let me go, I'll never forget your kindness. Maybe one day I can help you too, my king." The lion laughed even louder. "You? Help me? You are tiny. But fine, I'm not hungry now. Go away before I change my mind." The mouse bowed deeply. "Thank you, kind king. I will never forget your mercy." And with that, he ran away into the tall green grass. A few days later, the lion was walking proudly through the forest. The sun was shining, and the forest was calm and beautiful. But near some trees, hunters had set a trap. They wanted to catch the lion. When the lion stepped forward, the trap closed suddenly. A big net fell over him, and the lion roared loudly, "Roar! Help me! Someone help me!" He tried to break the net, but it was too strong. The hunters heard his roar and said, "We caught him. Let's go bring the cart." They tied the ropes tighter and left to get help. The lion kept roaring again and again. His voice echoed through the forest. All the animals heard it and hid in fear. Far away, the little mouse also heard the sound. He stopped and said, "That's the lion's roar. My friend is in trouble. I must help him." The mouse ran as fast as his little legs could move. He reached the tree and saw the lion trapped under the heavy net. The lion looked tired and sad. The mouse said softly, "Don't worry, king. I'm here. I will help you." The lion was surprised. "You?" said the lion. "You can't help me. The net is too strong." But the mouse smiled. "Just wait and see, my friend." The mouse climbed up the net and started chewing the ropes with his sharp little teeth. He worked quickly, biting again and again. Bit by bit, the ropes began to break. The lion watched with hope. Soon, one rope snapped, then another, and another. Finally, the mouse cut through the last rope. The lion was free. He stood up and stretched his legs, feeling the fresh air again. The lion looked at the little mouse with a smile. "Thank you, my tiny friend. You have saved my life. I will never forget this day." The mouse said proudly, "You were kind to me first. Today, I just returned your kindness. Even small friends can help big ones." From that day on, the lion and the mouse became good friends. They often met under the same big tree where they first met. Sometimes the mouse climbed on the lion's back, and the lion said, "Do you want to slide down my tail again?" The mouse laughed. Yes. One morning, the hunters came back with their big cart, but when they saw the lion standing free, they were shocked and afraid. The lion gave a huge roar. Roar! The hunters dropped their ropes and ran away as fast as they could back to their village. The lion and the mouse watched them run and laughed together. The mouse said, "You scared them so much." The lion laughed too. Then the lion said kindly, "From today, you are not just a mouse. You are my little brother and the prince of this forest." The mouse's eyes shone with happiness. "Thank you, my king. I will always be your friend," he said with a big smile. From that day, the lion ruled the forest wisely and kindly. He remembered how the little mouse had saved him. He learned that no act of kindness is ever wasted. Even the smallest creature can make a big difference. The mouse also told other animals, "Never forget to be kind. A kind heart can change everything." Everyone loved hearing his story. The lion and the mouse met every morning under the same tree. They talked, played, and enjoyed the sunshine together. The forest was peaceful. Birds sang sweet songs, and the wind blew softly. All the animals lived happily without fear. And whenever anyone saw the lion and the mouse together, they smiled and remembered the power of kindness and friendship. The lion often said, "Never think someone is too small to help you." And the mouse always replied, "And never forget to say thank you." They laughed together, happy and free, teaching everyone that true strength comes from love and kindness. And so, the great lion and the little mouse lived happily ever after, as best friends forever in the green forest. The end. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jack. He lived with his mother in a small house near a village. They were very poor. They had no money and no food. They had sold everything they owned to buy something to eat. Now, they only had one cow that gave them milk every day. Jack used to milk the cow every morning. But the cow also needed food, and they had no money to buy it. Sometimes, Jack and his mother went to bed hungry. One day, Jack's mother said, "Jack, we have no money left. We cannot feed the cow anymore. You must take her to the market and sell her." Jack said, "All right, mother." He started walking to the market with the cow. On his way, Jack met a funny-looking old man. The old man smiled and said, "Good morning, Jack." Jack said, "Good morning, sir." The old man asked, "Where are you taking this cow, little boy?" Jack answered, "I'm going to the market to sell her." The old man laughed softly and said, "You don't need to go that far. I will buy the cow from you." Jack asked, "What will you give me in return for my cow?" The old man said, "I have a special deal for a good boy like you. I will give you 5 magic beans," said the old man. Jack looked surprised and asked, "Magic beans? But they look strange. What can I do with these beans?" Jack wondered. The old man said, "If you plant them this evening, by morning they will grow right up to the sky." Jack was amazed. "Really?" he asked. "Yes, my boy. nodded the old man. They are truly magical. Jack thought for a while. He wanted to believe in magic. So he said, "All right. I will trade my cow for your magic beans." The old man gave Jack the 5 beans. Jack gave him the cow. Jack walked home happily, excited to show his mother. When Jack got home, he called, "Mother, look, I got something amazing today." His mother smiled and asked, "Did you sell the cow, Jack?" Jack said proudly, "Yes, Mother, and look what I got for it, 5 magic beans." His mother looked at the beans and shouted, "You sold our only cow for some silly beans? How foolish you are, Jack," she said angrily. She took the beans and threw them out of the window. Jack was sad. He said, "I only wanted to help us, Mother." He went upstairs to his small attic room and lay on his bed. He cried himself to sleep without any dinner. The next morning, when Jack woke up, he saw something strange outside the window. He rubbed his eyes and looked again. A huge green plant was growing right next to their house. It was so tall that it reached up to the clouds. Jack shouted, "Oh my goodness, the beans really were magic." He ran to his mother. "Mother, come and see." The beans grew into a giant beanstalk. His mother could not believe her eyes. The beanstalk was enormous. Its leaves were shining under the morning sun. Jack said, "Mother, I want to climb it and see where it goes." His mother was scared. "No, Jack, it might be dangerous." But Jack was curious and brave. He said, "Don't worry, Mother, I'll be careful." Then he started to climb the beanstalk. Jack climbed and climbed. The beanstalk went higher and higher. He passed trees. He passed mountains. He passed clouds. He was tired, but he did not stop. Finally, he reached the top and saw a beautiful land above the clouds. There was a golden road and a shining castle. Jack said softly, "Wow, this must be a kingdom in the sky." He walked slowly to the castle and knocked on the big golden door. The door opened with a creak. Jack stepped inside quietly. The castle was huge. Everything inside was big chairs, tables, plates, and spoons. On a big chair, a giant was sleeping. Jack's stomach growled. He was hungry after the long climb. So he walked into the kitchen and saw some fresh bread, milk, and fruit. He reached for the food, but suddenly, he heard a loud voice. "Fee-fi-fo-fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Jack was terrified. He hid inside a small hole in the wall. The giant looked around but did not see him. After a while, the giant sat down and ate his food. He took out a sack of gold coins and counted them. Then he fell asleep again. Jack whispered, "I can take these coins. Mother will no longer be upset with me." He picked up the sack. It was heavy and climbed down the beanstalk quickly. When Jack got home, he showed the gold to his mother. She was shocked and happy. "Where did you get this, Jack?" his mother asked. Jack told her everything. His mother hugged him tightly. "Dear boy, I'm just glad you are safe," she said. Now they had money again. They bought food and clothes. But soon the gold was gone. Jack looked at the beanstalk and thought, "Maybe I can climb it again." A few days later, Jack climbed the beanstalk again. He reached the giant's castle and hid behind the door. The giant came in and shouted again, "Fee-fi-fo-fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman." But he didn't find anyone. He sat down, took out a hen, and said, "Lay the golden egg." The hen clucked and laid a shining egg made of gold. The giant smiled and put the golden egg in a basket. Then he went to sleep. Jack whispered, "I will take this hen. It will give us golden eggs every day." He quietly took the hen and climbed down the beanstalk. At home, Jack said, "Mother, look. The hen lays golden eggs." His mother watched in surprise as the hen laid a shining egg. "Oh, Jack, this is wonderful," she said. But Jack's curiosity was not finished yet. One morning, he said, "Mother, I want to climb one last time." His mother said, "Please, Jack, don't go again. It is dangerous." But Jack wanted to see more. He climbed the beanstalk for the third time. At the top, he entered the giant's castle once more. This time, he saw something new, a beautiful golden harp playing sweet music by itself. Jack hid under the table. The giant shouted again, "Fee-fi-fo-fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." He looked everywhere but could not find Jack. Finally, the giant poked around and got tired. The giant went to sleep. Jack waited a little and then took the harp. But as soon as he touched it, the harp cried out, "Help, master, a boy is stealing me." The giant woke up and roared, "You thief! You are the one who took my gold and my hen." He ran after Jack. Jack ran as fast as he could. Jack climbed down the beanstalk very quickly. The giant followed him. The ground shook with every step the giant took. Jack shouted, "Mother, bring me an axe." When Jack reached the ground, he grabbed the axe and began to chop the beanstalk. He cut and cut until the beanstalk broke. The giant fell from the sky and hit the ground with a crash. He was gone forever. The beanstalk fell down too. Jack and his mother were safe at last. Jack's mother looked at him with tears in her eyes. "Jack, I was wrong. I should have stopped you from taking the giant's things. You could have lost your life," she said. Jack said, "I am sorry, Mother. I was greedy. I have learned my lesson. From now on, I will work hard and earn money honestly." His mother smiled. "That's my good boy." They now had the hen that laid golden eggs, so they were never poor again. But more important, they were kind, honest, and happy. And so, Jack and his mother lived happily ever after. Jack never forgot what he learned. Hard work is better than greed. And sometimes, a little bit of courage can lead to a big adventure. The end. It was a bright summer afternoon. The sun was warm and the sky was blue. By the pond, a mother duck looked for a quiet place to lay her eggs. She found a soft spot under a tree. It was safe and peaceful. The mother duck sat down and laid 5 eggs, one after another. But one egg was very big and looked different from the others. She looked at it and said, "Oh dear, why is this egg so big?" Still, she sat on all the eggs and kept them warm with her soft feathers. Many days passed. She waited and waited for her babies to come out. One morning, she heard a soft sound, peep, peep. The eggs began to crack, one by one. Little ducklings came out. The mother duck smiled. "Oh, what lovely children I have." But one egg was still not open. It was the big one. She waited and waited again. "This one is taking a long time." At last, the big egg cracked. Out came a large gray duckling. He was not yellow and cute like the others. He was gray and a bit ugly. The mother duck looked at him kindly. "You are still my baby," she said. She hoped that one day, he would grow to be beautiful too. But the other ducklings laughed. "You are so funny. You look strange." They ran around him, laughing. "Ugly, ugly duckling." The gray duckling felt sad. He looked down and didn't say a word. The next morning, the mother duck took all her babies to the pond. She wanted to teach them how to swim. The ducklings jumped into the water one by one. They splashed and played happily. The gray duckling was afraid, but he followed his mother. He went into the water and started to swim. He could swim very well. The mother duck was proud. "Good job, my little ones," she said. "Now you can swim like real ducks." All the ducklings were happy, but some ducks nearby saw the gray one. They said, "Who is that ugly bird? He looks so strange." The mother duck replied, "He is my baby. Please be kind to him." But they laughed and said, "He doesn't belong here." The gray duckling heard them and felt even more sad. He looked at his reflection in the water. He saw a gray face and a long neck. "I am really ugly," he thought. The little duckling wanted to cry, but only soft sounds came out. Days passed. The other ducklings played together. They ran, they swam, they laughed, but they didn't play with him. He sat alone under a bush and watched them from far away. Sometimes he wished he could look like the others. One night, he looked at the moon and whispered, "Why am I different?" No one answered. The wind blew softly, and the pond was quiet. The next morning, some big ducks came near the pond. They looked at the gray duckling and said, "Go away, ugly one." They pecked him and scared him. The gray duckling ran and hid. He was so frightened that he decided to leave the pond forever. He walked through the tall grass and into the deep forest. He didn't know where to go, but he wanted to find a new home. The forest was dark and cold. He was hungry and tired. He found a small lake and drank some water. He saw fireflies flying and glowing in the dark. For a moment, he forgot his sadness and watched them dance. But soon, he felt lonely again. He missed his mother. "I wish someone would like me," he said softly. He found a small place under a tree and slept. The wind was cold, and he wrapped his wings around his body. All night, he dreamed about swimming with happy ducks. When he woke up, it was morning again. The sun was rising. He took a deep breath and started walking again. He didn't know what would happen next, but he hoped to find a friend. As he walked through the forest, he met some wild ducks. They looked at him and said, "Who are you? You look strange." The gray duckling said softly, "I am just a little duckling. Please be my friend." The wild ducks whispered to each other and said, "No, you are too ugly." The gray duckling's heart felt heavy. He turned and walked away. He walked for many hours. The sun went down and the forest became dark. He saw a small house and went near it. The door was half open. He went inside quietly to look for a warm place. Inside the house lived a kind old woman, a cat, and a hen. The woman saw the duckling and said, "Oh, poor bird, you look so cold." She gave him a little food and let him stay inside. For a few days, the duckling was happy. He had food and a warm place. But soon, the cat and the hen started to tease him. The hen said, "Can you lay eggs?" The duckling said, "No, I cannot." Then the cat said, "Can you catch mice?" The duckling said, "No, I cannot." The hen laughed. "Then you are useless. Why do you stay here?" The gray duckling felt sad again. "I just want to swim," he said. The cat said, "Swim? That is silly. Stay on the floor like us." The hen and cat laughed together. The duckling was quiet. He missed the water and the open sky. After a few days, he decided to leave the house. "Thank you," he said to the old woman, "but I must go." He walked again into the forest. The wind was cold and strong. The trees moved and the leaves fell around him. He walked and walked until he found a small pond. He was so happy to see the water. He jumped in and began to swim. The cool water made him feel alive again. He stayed there for many days, alone but peaceful. Then one morning, he saw the sky turn gray. The air became cold. Winter was coming. Snow began to fall. The pond started to freeze. The duckling had no food to eat. He tried to keep moving in the water so the ice would not trap him. But the ice grew thicker and thicker. Soon, he was stuck in the frozen pond. He was tired and cold. His eyes slowly closed. Just then, a kind man came walking by. He saw the little bird frozen in the ice. The man broke the ice carefully and took the duckling home. He placed the duckling near the fire to warm up. The man's children were excited. Look, a little duck. But the duckling was scared. He didn't understand they wanted to help. He jumped from the fire and ran across the room. The children laughed and tried to catch him. The duckling hit a pot and spilled milk on the floor. The man shouted, "Stop! Be careful, little bird." The duckling ran to the door and escaped outside. It was snowing hard. The ground was white and cold. He ran as fast as he could to find shelter. He found a small barn and went inside. There was hay on the ground. He hid under it and slept. Days passed. Winter was long and hard. The duckling was cold and hungry but stayed alive. Finally, one morning, the sun was warm again. The snow started to melt. The air smelled fresh. The ugly duckling came out of the barn and looked around. He saw green grass and heard birds singing. It was spring. Everything was new again. The duckling stretched his wings. He felt stronger. He began to walk toward the river to see the world again. He didn't know that something wonderful was about to happen. The ugly duckling walked to the river. The water was clear and blue. He looked at the sky and smiled. "Spring is here," he said softly. He felt happy to be alive after the long cold winter. As he walked near the river, he saw some big white birds swimming. They had long necks and wide wings. They looked so beautiful. He had never seen birds like them before. He watched them fly high in the sky. His heart beat fast. "Oh, they are so beautiful," he whispered. "I wish I could be like them." He stayed by the river all day, watching the swans glide across the water. Sometimes he tried to spread his wings and copy them. To his surprise, his wings felt stronger than before. He moved them again and again. Then he started to fly a little. The wind lifted him up. He flew over the river for a short time. He was so happy that he could fly, even just a little. He landed near the water and smiled. "I am not useless anymore," he thought. Days passed, and the duckling grew taller and stronger. His feathers changed slowly. They were no longer gray and rough. They became soft, white, and shiny. He did not notice the change because he saw himself every day. One morning, he went to the river to drink water. When he bent down, he saw his reflection in the water. He looked again and again. He could not believe what he saw. He was no longer an ugly gray bird. He was a beautiful white swan. His long neck was curved. His feathers were white like snow. The sun shone on his wings, and they sparkled on the water. At that moment, 3 other swans came swimming toward him. He felt shy. He bowed his head and whispered, "They are so beautiful. I am still afraid they will laugh at me," he thought. But the swans smiled kindly and said, "Hello, new friend." He looked up in surprise. "You want to be my friend?" he asked. "Of course," said one of the swans. "You are one of us." "One of you?" the duckling asked. "But I am a swan?" "Yes," they said with a smile. "Look at your reflection." He turned and looked again at the water. He saw a beautiful white swan looking back at him. He could not believe his eyes. "I am not ugly anymore." The other swans swam around him happily. He spread his wings and joined them in the water. They swam together, and he felt peace in his heart. Children came to the river and saw the group of swans. They pointed and said, "Look at that new swan. It's so beautiful." He heard their words and smiled, his heart filled with joy. He thought about his past, the pain, and the lonely nights. He had been called ugly, weak, and strange. But now, he was strong, beautiful, and loved. He lifted his wings high and let the wind carry him. He flew above the river, shining in the sunlight. He finally found where he belonged. From that day on, the ugly duckling was no longer ugly. He was a swan, proud, graceful, and free. He thanked the sky and the water for his new life. He swam beside his friends and never felt alone again. Sometimes he looked at his reflection and smiled softly. He whispered, "It's okay to be different. Someday, you will find your place too," he said to the wind. The river flowed gently. The sun shone bright. The swan flew across the sky, free and happy. He was no longer the ugly duckling. He was a beautiful swan. And from that day, he lived happily ever after. The story of the ugly duckling teaches us to be kind and patient with others. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. They lived in a small, cozy house in the forest. There was Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. They loved their home very much. The forest was quiet, green, and full of birds. Every morning, they had porridge for breakfast. One morning, Mama Bear made 3 bowls of porridge. The porridge smelled very good, but it was too hot. Papa Bear said, "Let's go for a walk while it cools." So, the 3 bears went out into the forest. They walked slowly under the tall green trees. Birds were singing, and the air was fresh and soft. While they were walking, a little girl was playing nearby. Her name was Goldilocks. She had shiny golden hair. She was curious and loved to explore. That morning, she went into the forest alone. She walked and walked until she saw a small house. The house was pretty, with flowers by the window. Goldilocks walked to the door and knocked. "Hello, is anybody home?" she asked. There was no answer. Everything was quiet. She knocked again, but still no one came. Goldilocks turned the handle and opened the door. She looked inside carefully. "Oh, what a nice house," she said softly. On the table, she saw 3 bowls of porridge. The smell made her very hungry. She went to the first bowl and took a small bite. "Ouch! This porridge is too hot," she cried. She tried the second bowl. "Oh no! This one is too cold." Then she tried the last bowl. This porridge is just right," she said happily. She ate it all up until the bowl was empty. After eating, Goldilocks felt tired. She looked around and saw 3 chairs. She sat on the big chair first. "This chair is too big," she said. She tried the middle chair. "This one is too soft," she said again. Then she sat on the small chair. This chair is just right," she smiled. But suddenly, the chair broke into pieces. "Oh no!" cried Goldilocks. "I broke it." She felt sleepy now. She went upstairs and found 3 beds. She lay on the big bed first. "This bed is too hard," she said. Then she tried the middle bed. "This bed is too soft," she whispered. Finally, she tried the small bed. This bed is just right," she said. Goldilocks closed her eyes and fell asleep. A little later, the 3 bears came home. Papa Bear sniffed the air. "Something is strange," he said. They walked to the table. "Someone has eaten my porridge," said Papa Bear. "Someone has eaten my porridge too," said Mama Bear. "Someone has eaten my porridge and ate it all up," cried Baby Bear. Then they looked at the chairs. "Someone sat in my chair," said Papa Bear. "Someone sat in my chair too," said Mama Bear. "Someone sat in my chair, and it's broken," said Baby Bear sadly. The bears went upstairs quietly. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," said Papa Bear. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed too," said Mama Bear. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," said Baby Bear. "And she's still here," he cried. Goldilocks woke up and saw the three bears. She was very scared and jumped out of bed. She ran down the stairs very fast. She opened the door and ran into the forest. She did not stop until she found her home. Goldilocks promised never to enter a house again. She told her mother what happened. Her mother hugged her and said, "You must always ask first." Goldilocks nodded and learned her lesson. Back in the forest, the bears fixed Baby Bear's chair. They made new porridge for breakfast. Papa Bear laughed. "What a strange morning." Mama Bear smiled and hugged Baby Bear. The three bears were happy again. They lived peacefully in their little house. Goldilocks sometimes waved from far away. She never forgot the day she met the bears. The forest stayed calm and green. The sun shone brightly above the trees. And everyone lived happily ever after.